Okay? Like, do y'all know how many people got killed by the police or by someone else because of a mental illness that's not real? Do you know they do these attacks on people and people get gunned down by the police because they're supposed to be paranoid, schizophrenic, bipolar, or some shit that's not even true? And then you know how many people that try to tell you, I'm not crazy, this is what's going on with me, this is what's happening, and you don't listen to them? That can cause them to commit suicide. That can cause someone else to try to kill them off, the person that's doing it to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to start listening to these people. Like me, I'm trying to, like, no one's really trying to listen, but I'm not a fucking paranoid schizophrenic. No, I'm not. This is voodoo, and it's actually real people that's watching me and making me hear their voices, and I'm supposed to be getting rid of because they said I was the one that's gonna fuck them. Now my thing is, I wasn't doing anything, so how I'm gonna fuck you? You're not making sense. And they kept saying, oh, she know. Like, I'm like, okay, you weird. And I just paid attention and documented things. I mean, it's so many people that's diagnosed with mental illnesses. It's not even real, and it's really like a psychic attack on these people's mind and their body to make them act certain ways, feel certain ways, think certain ways, and be certain ways. Like, it's not cool because they kill themselves or someone else, or they get gunned down by someone or get killed by someone else. This is very unhealthy for society. This is an endangerment to children and people and then the elderly everywhere. Like, I literally lost it all, and then other ones who are in it lost something as well. And then some people who don't even know they lost something, you're just fine, because there's a lot of people in society that lost something and don't even know it and just going about their own business and their own life. But there's a lot of people who are put deeply into this that lost something or lost it all and really got fucking screwed over. And like around the time, October 23rd, 2010, I got locked up in jail for a felony. Now I'm going to tell you something real quick. Now listen to this. Every time I go to school for something, I get put into that part of it. Say for instance, like I went to school for criminal justice. They gave me a felony. They sent two girls they sent people to attack me, to start fights with me, and I got attacked. And I'm the only one that went to jail and caught a felony. I was going to school for criminal justice. I went to school for cosmetology. Then I lost all my hair. My hair got nappy. My skin got flawed. My feet got flawed. Everything, and etc. I went to school for psychology. Now I got a mental illness. What do that tell you? Come on, make this make sense. Then October 23rd, 2010, I went to jail, and the lady Nicole who worked there, there was they're like my niece, but it's not her. There was the correction officer there, got an audacity to tell me, why are you talking to yourself, Joy, when she knew I was reading the Bible. They planned this and plotted this on my life since I was a little girl. I was a young child. I used to watch people around me lose it, and I used to watch people get put in it at 11 years old. Like, you understand me? It's my mind, and they keep trying to get something. I'm the one lying. I'm not the one lying. I watched this since I was 11 years old. I don't know how long I've been in it, but I knew I was losing things and things would happen. And they keep trying to say, they're trying to make me choose, when I told them the only thing I'm choosing is God. And I choose my son because my son comes before anybody. And I wasn't saying my son becomes before anyone else's kids, but in reality, of course he does, because I love him. That's my child. That's my other half. That came for me. But as other kids, I do feel for them. Kids come first to me, and we need to understand that it does take a village to raise a child. So with that being said, this is not a game. You cannot play with people's lives like a pawn in a chess game. That's very dangerous, and I don't like it. I'm pretty sure no one else likes it either. And then, like, if you pay attention to all the videos, you can tell how I transformed and changed, like, the mind and the way I sound, the way I speak, the tone of my voice and everything. And when it came to my handwriting, it got hard for me to even hold a pencil in my hand. I couldn't even hold a pencil in my hand properly because my hand would clamp up, and it clamps up, and I couldn't hold it, and so I had to use my fingers like this and write like that. And I've sent those letters off to people so they can see, like, do you pay attention to my handwriting? I'm not trying to write like this. I can't hold a pencil. I can't hold a cup unless I hold it with two hands. It was crazy, just crazy. I'm not the only one that lost it. All my son lost it. There's more people out here that lost it. And I'm pretty sure you should understand. The people they diagnose with things like, say for instance, you might say a person, oh, they got HIV, they lost it, that's what happened, or they mentally ill, this is what happened, the medication, oh, this is what happened. Don't believe that shit. Don't believe it, because it's not true. It's not true. There's really people out here taking people things and setting them up for failure in a system to make them lose, because someone either somewhere is jealous, envious, or intimidated of you, or they got your real things and they want to fucking screw you over because they still jealous of you even after they got your things and you still got them. And if you confident after you lose it, that's a big no-no to them. How the freak is this person still confident after what we done to them? Not cool. Let's destroy this person until they break and they lose their confidence, self-esteem, and self-love. Don't do it, because that's just going to allow you to be stuck where you at, and you're never going to get nowhere. Then it's going to allow you to accept the shit they doing to you, and that's when they won. Don't let them win. Now, I'm not saying that's when it comes to mind over matter, you being strong or weak. You're going to have to go through something, trials and tribulations, because God give his strongest battles, the toughest wars to his strongest warriors. So, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, me and my son got very dumb. Our memory got very bad. Our whole body transformed into something that it's not. Our personality and everything changed. And then we started walking around, and our whole body started having bad, foul odor. We started feeling like we had full-blown AIDS. We was having bowel movements on ourselves. We were peeing on ourselves. We was throwing up constantly. We was busting out in sweat, and we couldn't move out the bed. Like, that's more than one time. Actually, more than 2 times. My son kept doing it. It would start with him, and it didn't go to me. And I would just watch him and learn his behavior. Like, also, he's a very good, proper kid. He's a very good kid. He's very proper. He's very educated for his level. He's very mature. And I raised him that way. And I teach him how to be himself. I teach him how to be himself, no matter what, and to be a leader, not a follower. And, like, no matter what happens, my son don't do what other people do unless he wants to. He feel like that's what he feel that, like, that's what makes him happy. Now, with that being said, I watched his behavior go from cartoons that was PG-13 to very violent and aggressive out of nowhere. Like, I don't speak about violence. I don't show him violence, but he will, like, look it up on the phone for no reason, just out the blue. And I'd be like, why wouldn't I ask him questions? Like, what made you look this up? What do you feel like you want to do this to somebody? Do this and that? Or he'd be like, well, it's just a thought that came to my mind. I just thought about it. And then, or he'd be like, oh, I felt like hurting somebody, so I wanted to see it. And I'd be like, okay, weird, right? And then, like, he just would be sitting there. He'd say he's so angry that he get, like, out of nowhere, he get, like, this suicidal emotion over him. And then he attempt to grab knives and stuff. And I asked him, what makes you do this? He tell me, I don't even know, Mom. I don't know. I just feel it. And sometimes I feel it in my heart, in my chest. And that's where I felt it at. I can feel more than one heartbeat in mine. So it's very weird and strange. And then when I used to go to school, like in college and stuff, like community college, certain professors would tell me, you don't want to seem too perfect, 'cause that can cause problems for you. And they used to always make me want to document their names, but I wasn't thinking at the time. But I remember who they are. One was in New York at MCC. Her name was Miss Parker. Miss Parker. Yeah. I remember that. And the girl that I felt like was getting my things was a black girl in the front row that always used to stare at me and watch me. I remember her face, but they never gave me her name, never would say her name, which was also another red flag to me. Then here, my criminal justice teacher here at MCC, and yeah, I used to pay attention to all of that. And it was just very strange behavior, because they'll say things like, oh, don't you live at so-and-so? I'm like, how you know I live there? I could be visiting somebody. Or they'll just be like, say something after they say that to me. Right after they say something like, oh, don't you live in such and such place? I'd be like, yeah, but how you know I live there? I could be visiting someone. They'll end up going to class and say, oh, never think of no one as better than you or perfect or this and that, because you never know where they live or how their house is looking and things like that of that nature. And I used to be looking like, okay, now why would you say that right after you just said something like that to me? Come on, it's obvious you're talking about me. I'm not no dummy. Also, like, this can cause you to be put onto medications that can cause you health problems. Like they got me on Depakote and Invega. It was Abilify, but now it's Invega, I believe. Them medications can cause other health problems for mental illness that I do not have, by the way. It's not cool. And then sometimes the shit don't even work because it's really not a mental illness. It's an attack on you spiritually. So you can't do nothing unless the person leave you alone or the person die off. Yeah, it's really nothing you can really do unless you're spiritual yourself or you go get help. That's why this shit, forgive me God, but that's why it is supposed to, this should become illegal or something, because it's not cool. It causes health problems and it's endangerment to society. Whether you believe me or not, voodoo is real. It's all different forms of types of voodoo that's actually real, and I'm pretty sure you don't want your child or you don't want to be in it. It's not cool. I have something to say, but like my mind is like to the point where I forget things and I trail off. So I be trying to jump from situation to situation and conversation to conversation. What else? And then add up the dates. I went to jail October 23rd, 2010. I got it all documented on different pieces of paper, on different times I went to school, different times I got put out, different times I got locked up in hospitals, and different times I got locked up in jail, different times I was flipping out, different times people said certain things to me. All the times and dates add up to something. So you got to be careful and watch yourselves. Know who you are, because if you don't know who you are and your children are, you can easily look over what's going on and what's happening. And like a lot of people are out here that's homeless and put in poverty and oppression is because they're put in it. And there's people that's in the government. You might call them Illuminati. You can call them whatever you want to call them. But there's people out here secretively doing things to people, but they're afraid to show their faces because they're cowards. They're cowards. If you can do something like this to a child, you're a coward. You can attack a person like this, an innocent person, because you think they're weaker than you, or you can beat them, or you can hurt them and get away with it. You're a bitch ass coward. I'm gonna just be honest with you. And I would like to beat your motherfucking ass, honestly, because I'm not I know I can fight. I'm very official with my fighting skills, but I would never in my life attack somebody because they're weaker than me, smaller than me, or because I feel like I could just beat their ass, or because I feel like I can run over them and use them or whatever and just toss them away. That's some weak, coward ass shit, just to let you know. And like, it's just pathetic. Like, it's really sadly pathetic. Like, really. And I literally have to walk out and walk away from people because what mental illness, let them say, I have, makes me flip out and have episodes. So when people do certain things, it triggers something in my mind, let them tell it, and I will flip if I'm not on medication, which I'm on the medications, I'm taking the medications, and it still don't really work. It helps keep me more myself, but it doesn't really control it. So like, I will have outspurts still, and that can get me fucking killed. That can get me killed or put into prison. Do you know this? Do you know people get killed, like I said before, for having mental illness and